Hi, I am Kuttenberger Martin. I have a master degree in history and I am a surveyor of historical buildings. Gamescom really flooded us with a lot of material to the game, and one of those stuff we got is this hour-long gameplay video where we see a whole side quest in the streets of Kuttenberg. It is from this YouTube channel, Rocket Beans Gaming, this video right here. So check that out, especially if you speak German, they did a really good work. In this series of videos, I would like to break down for you what is going on there. So this is just first video of many, because there is really a lot to talk about. So let's do this.
Will you help us?
Martin!
You told me to keep this opening, and as you see, I'm hearing you. By the way, thank you all for the support, it's really great. So I will start this talk with a map, but feel free to click in the chapters on any topic you are interested in. So map. In contrast to the map I showed you in my last video, this one has a one big feature, and it's the icons. So let's talk about it for a while. I already showed you last time this significant building, the meat shop. And as you can see, there are these sausages, so it will have this historical function in a game too. So isn't it great? We can go to buy some sausages there. That's perfect. Next to it, where is the town hall, you can see the scribe symbol there. So of course town had his scribe. It was really important and well-paid position. That was a guy who made all these records in the town books. I'm personally most interested in the records about property transactions. Unfortunately, as I believe already mentioned in some video, the town books were lost during the Hussite Wars, so like 20 years after the game. You can see here he has another friend scribe over the street, so they can write together their books, which we will never see because they are all gone. So good job, bros. Okay, right across the street from the meat shop, there is a tavern here. This location was probably not chosen randomly because in this place was a tavern called Mědínek. It translates like a little copper, you know, the metal. Today there is a modern built hotel with that name, so don't be confused. For centuries it was right here. Today there is this house where in 20th century was a hotel called Black Horse, but unfortunately it collapsed just recently, this building, so yeah, it's quite sad. As in the first game, there is a different icon for a tavern and for an inn. So tavern, that's just establishment where you drink and nothing more. But in an inn, you can also sleep. So a traveler such as Henry can save his game there. It's slightly different than in the first game, but this green plant around it, it's quite similar, I think. If you look closer, this symbol for tavern, it's actually on the street, and it could be a pickle if you don't know the history of Kuttenberg as well as I do. But I will tell you what is going on here at the end of this video. So let's stay by the icons on the map for now. So here is a quite different icon for apothecary, the snake wrapped around the vial. Alchemy bench has only a slightly different icon than in the first game. Also the bath icon changed. We saw this bath in the gameplay showcase, so we are clear it's it. It's just this bathtub under the tent. Yeah. This icon is a symbol for cobblers. quite different from the first game. On the first glance, it looks quite dangerous with the red color, but it's probably just a red color on the shoes and it has no other meaning, but it looks kind of suspicious. But yeah, there was some fuss about the user interface already, so let's not add any fuel into this fire and move on. The scissors, it's of course Taylor, like in the first game. And here we have interesting concentration of various metallic shops. You can see weapons, armor, and this will probably be tools. Which suggests the crafting in KCD2 will be so extended, it makes sense to have a special shop just for that. I will also talk about my theory why are they concentrated here, but it will be also in the last topic, because now we go to this one, diversity. Okay, I place myself over Toby here. I mean, no disrespect, it's just easier and it will be not so confusing for you who is actually speaking. Good. Now we finally get to start the quest. We met this guy, Manhard von Frankfurt, who wants to open his fencing school in Kuttenberg. And the existing school is not happy about it. Well, we could now cover how the guilds work and what they did and did not in medieval city, and I will hopefully do that in some future video. But right now I wanted to talk about more general topic, and that's diversity, because it's such a buzzy word. We meet this German character, Manhard, and he is a supporter of King Wenceslaus, and we are going to help him, which is for me a nice contrast to this guy from a first game, this Deutsch. We meet right at the beginning in a pub, because he is a supporter of Sigismund, and we are going to throw a dunk on his house. So it kind of felt it's the feeling for me right in the beginning of the game that Germans are bad, Hungarians even worse, and Cumans are the super bad, like don't talk to them, just stab them. We know that the town of Kuttenberg was in this period mostly German, and I think it's not a stretch if I tell that the Kuttenberg was practically founded mostly by Germans more than 100 years before the game. So they are like native here. It's really stupid and frustrating for me to see Germans in popular culture often being portrayed as some foreign element. Well, they were not. They were the same subjects to the Bohemian king. Today we would use term citizens as the Czech-speaking people, and they suffered under this Hungarian Cuman invasion the same way as the Czech people. So I just wanted to point this out, because that's where the perception of a lot of people differs from reality, I feel. And I have really high hopes for Kingdom Come Deliverance 2 to change that. So yeah, we will see. But let's step a little bit back. We have this conflict here between King Wenceslaus IV and his brother King Sigismund of Hungary at this time. We will see the invasion forces of Sigismund, as we saw in the first game. So the Hungarians and Cumans, against, don't talk to them, just stab them when you meet them. Maybe we will see some forces from Austria and Poland, because the rulers there probably wanted to get something from this situation. And of course, Bohemian and Moravian forces, like the towns of Prague and Brno, in German Brünn. I'm deliberately not telling you in this video who is on which side. So if you meet a guy from Prague and from Brno, I will not spoil to you which one you should hug and which one you should stab. And then, of course, we have here the town of Kuttenberg itself. As I said, there was a majority of German-speaking people. The second largest group were Czech-speaking people. Actually, until today, this street, it's called Czech Street, because in this part of town, that's where the Czech people mostly lived. So, yeah, right here next to it is a Jewish quarter, which is weird because Jews were forbidden to live in town of Kuttenberg until the half of 19th century, because everybody was kind of afraid that with their excellent merchant and banking skills, they would claim all the wealth for themselves or whatever. But obviously, there were some. So, by the way, yeah, this anti-Jewish medieval mood is, if it's going to be shown somehow in a game, in my opinion, this issue has a potential to be like the biggest controversy about this game. So, well, I don't envy the creators walking on this minefield. Yeah. And then we had here these people from Hungary. I'm not meaning the invasion forces, but the miners and everyone else who was trying to gain to some wealth here, especially from the northern part of Hungary, where Slovakia is today, and also from Poland and some from Italy. That's, by the way, why we call Italian court Italian, because they made huge reforms here. About that maybe some other time. So the diversity of this Central European region is represented in this town itself. We had like all the languages here you could hear around in all the countries around. Yeah, and that's because all the people from the Central Europe just came to Kutná Hora to live their dream. Actually, Maestro Luke Dale himself said it in the video, that Kuttenberg was a place
where people of all sorts come to pursue the Bohemian dream and seek their fortune.
Okay, and now about the markets. As I already told, in this area where all the metal-based shops are, there was in a real lead market. So lead, like this metal. Why would you need the whole market just for a lead, you ask? Well, I hear you. I just want to warn you that we are going a tiny bit to the area of metallurgy and silver ore processing. So, yeah, the process is complicated, and I will try to simplify it to the most easy level. Okay, so lead was used to bind silver into itself. That means that you had a smelter, you put silver ore in there, you put charcoal in there, and you put lead in there. You heat it up, and then this lead mixed with silver, when it all melted, simply leaked out from it. And after that, you again warmed it up to around 950 degrees Celsius, and you burn down the lead. It means it was practically gone. Okay, it was some percent of it gold, some percent you could reuse, but the point is you needed a lot of lead to process silver, because this was not the only time even in a process when you put there lead and then you burn it out. So that's why you had this market just for it, where you could buy it. And yeah, in a game it actually makes no sense to have a lead market there, because why would be Henry running around with his pockets full of lead? So yeah, so I think Warhorse quite elegantly put there another like metal shops, but with more purpose for a game, right? And now to this beer icons on the street. So why is it there? On this map, you can see this market is called Forum Carnificum. Hopefully, I'm pronouncing it at least a little bit okay. But it means like a meat market. So, well, we already have like this cooler, literally, place for that in a meat shop. So the Warhorse obviously went for another name for this, and it was beer market. But still, in the middle of summer, sell beer on a street, it's kind of weird, right? So they went to the next logical option. So, in my opinion, what is going on here is that they are selling hops. So, the main ingredient in brewing a beer. So, I think that here is this is a hops market. I don't know if we as a Henry use hops for something, but maybe they will also use they will also sell some other herbs. So yeah, so that's my opinion about what is going on there. Okay, so that's all for now. Thank you all for watching, and as I said at the beginning, this is a first part of multi-part series because we covered like 10 minutes of the video right now. And I will be glad if you hit the subscribe button. If you already did that, tell your friends about this channel if you like it. And yeah, don't miss the next episodes. So see you next time. Bye.